Morning, viewers. Welcome yet again for another learning session. This is the Women's Voice, a platform for women rights initiative. My name is Anet Nyonyitono, and I'm going to be moderating today's show. And today we are happy because we have a guest who is going to be sharing with us about counseling, and I hope that you will learn. I hope that you'll keep sharing this educative platform for other people to also learn, because the issues that we discuss here, the issues that we talk about, are very, very, very important for the safety and well-being of everyone, but mostly the women and the girls that we serve. I will welcome our guest. Rebecca, you're welcome. Please introduce yourself to our viewers before we begin the discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, Annette. Good morning, our viewers. I'm happy to be hosted here today on the 29th day of September 2022. I'm humbled to be hosted. My name is Bagoza Rebecca. I work as an assistant programs officer with Women Rights Initiative. I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Annette. Over to you.
You're welcome. And today we'll be speaking about counseling, an important aspect of the work that we do here at the Women Rights Initiative. The Women Rights Initiative is an organization that serves the women and the youth. And part of the work we do is centered around rehabilitating and restoring dignity for the survivors that we serve. And so if we are going to speak about counseling, I feel that it is a topic or an issue that is really, really very important for the lives of the women and also their families, because most of the times you find that after abuse or after a lot of traumatizing situations, stressed, people struggle to find their worth again, people struggle to begin life again. So, Rebecca, we are happy that we're going to be speaking about this issue. And maybe the first question for me and for people out there that are watching would be, what is counseling? Because sometimes, when we come here, we unlearn. We might think that we know a lot about counseling, yet probably what we know is not entirely right, or it's not entirely what counseling is. So for the viewers and the people that are watching, what is counseling?
Thank you, Annette. Exactly that you just mentioned. Several people have different or mixed conceptions about counseling, but and it is something that we live with in our daily lives, in our day-to-day lives. The different people do it differently. Otherwise, for the purpose of our viewers, I would like to say, this is how I would like to talk about counseling or defining it in a more simpler way. We take it as a process where an individual, a couple or couples, or a family meet with trained professional counselors to talk about issues and problems that they are facing in their lives. Some people sometimes consider seeking counseling services maybe when they are having problems. But it is not only about having problems. Sometimes we have confusing issues. There are issues that that we may be living with in our lives, and they are maybe confusing us. So, yeah, it is not only in times of problems, but there are also some issues that we need to talk to uh, profession counselors so that we can be in position to make rightful decisions. Thank you, Annette.
Well, I think that definition clears the air, because for some people, by the way, counseling is, they think counseling is giving advice. Actually, when they speak, when they go to someone to seek for counseling, they go there because they want people to advise them or people to give them advice. So I think that it's clear now. So are there types of counseling, or it is because you mentioned that sometimes it's a couple or an individual or a group. So are there different types of counseling that we need to know?
Yes, Annette, you're very right. Their counseling takes different types. There are several of them. I won't waste time. I'll go through all. I'll go ahead to mention some few of them. Um, we've got maybe some to take you back somehow. What you are talking about. Uh, that some people think you go to the counselor to seek advice. No, counselors don't give advice. They bring in suggestions. Then you can just to give you a leeway or to help you to be in position to come up with a rightful decision. So they don't advise you, but together you come up with a solution. The counselor is there to help you be in position to come up with a rightful decision, but not there to advise you. So counseling takes different types. Uh, we have, first of all, we have relationship and marriage. Uh, some of you, or most of you, have been in relationships, if not all of us. Uh, Relationships to mean different relationships. Yeah, so some people find issues. It might not be a problematic relationship, but there could be some issues. Maybe you're finding hardship to take a decision. Maybe you have several partners and you'd like to talk to someone to help you to discuss, to talk about issues so that you can come up with a rightful decision. So you can seek for a counselor, you can seek for counseling services, you can choose any counselor who can be in position to help you come up with a rightful decision in regard to your relationship. Again, their marriage, there is also marriage. Those of you who have been to churches, sometimes when we are preparing for marriage, we normally talk to reverends, they are singers, they are coaches. As I had told you, that different people do counseling in different ways. So even those other couples that are preparing for marriages sometimes go to meet counselors so that they can be in position to be prepared, to get prepared for their marriage, because some of them have never been into marriage. They've never been into that institution of marriage, so they need to be prepared. Some of them, they are coaches, they are preparing these young couples for their marriages. Some of them are singers. Those are the paternal aunties and the maternal uncles. So that is about marriage. I would also like to talk about vocation and career counseling. This is when we talk about the different choices, about the professions, the careers that we would like to take on, to choose to take on as our choices in our lives. You are aware that even in some other schools, other institutions, they they have like career masters. So those people are there specifically to advise students, our pupils, and those other youth on what kind of profession or career or vocation to take on. So in case someone is in that category, we do that talking to such people. That is what we call vocation and career counseling. There is also family therapy. Family therapy, this is when we we yeah, there are several families that could be having issues, an issue that is affecting them as a family. Yeah, so in case they have something that is perturbing or disturbing them, maybe uh, it is a family issue generally that is affecting all of them, and maybe they need to talk to somebody so that they can be in position to, yeah, to make a rightful decision or to come up with a solution to their issue. They can also contact um, a professional counselor so that they, yeah, this person can get involved in their issue, and they are helped to come up with to come out of such a situation. um, I will also talk about trauma. Several people have issues. uh, Trauma is something that is common to all of us, only that sometimes we confuse it with several issues. But uh, I would first of all want to define what trauma is. Trauma is an emotional response to a terrible event. An emotional response to a terrible event. A terrible event to mean what? Like maybe there are those areas that that have faced floods. We sometimes we take it as a joke, but some of these issues affect these people, the victims, so heavily that they need counseling. Someone, take an example, some girl has been defiled. This is something that has never crossed in her, that she has never experienced. So someone, if somebody, a girl has been defiled, or if a woman has been raped, this is something so traumatic. It is a terrible event in this person's life, so they need counseling. Yeah, even like those natural disasters. We can also cite an example of the earthquake, an accident. So there is also that counseling that we take on for such people. There are those other people that are addicted, they take drugs, alcohol. You realize that those people who are addicted, they've got such a kind of an addiction. We also do some sort of counseling. So that is also why I'm mentioning this, is that different counselors or different practitioners qualify in the different types of counseling. So you may have to, in case you fall into this uh, category of a problem, so you need to talk to this specialist. Um, I'm glad to talk about rehabilitation as some other type of counseling. I happen to be working with women survivors of gender-based violence at Inyonga Women's Shelter, where we also do rehabilitation. Rehabilitation uh, may be used differently to mean different things, but in this regard, I would I would define rehabilitation as a set of interventions that is designed to optimize functioning and reduce disability in individuals with health conditions in interaction with their environments. That set of interventions. So we normally do this as part of our daily work. We are rehabilitating at Inyonga Women's Shelter, where we work with women survivors of gender-based violence and girls, youth. Uh, for example, at Inyonga Women's Shelter, we support our survivors psychological. We give psychological support for people with stress, depression. So when you do this, that is you're counseling this person, because during rehabilitation, it is not a one activity that you're doing, you're performing towards reviving this survivor's life. So it is a set of intervention. So we also do rehabilitation as some bit of counseling. There is also student counseling. Student counseling, some of us have children. They are different students with different behaviors. Some of them are different, they are deviant behaviors. Some students fail to go back to school. Maybe she has gone to school, he has gone to school, and he was teased, and for that reason, they don't want to go back to school. So we also need to talk to these students about the issues and whatever they are battling with in their lives. Grief and loss. This is something that we normally do on a daily basis almost. Sometimes we go to console our friends that have lost their beloved ones, uh, that are grieving. So we normally talk to them to try to identify with them so that they can be in position to cope with the situation. Um, there is also sexy therapy. Yeah, when I talk about this, someone may say, "What does this require counseling?" Yeah, sometimes in sex, there are some people, sex is meant to mean something, or it has a restricted meaning, but sometimes we misuse the word or the concept to mean different things or to do different things. So in case somebody is misusing the word to do, or the concept to do other things, I think somebody in such a confusing situation needs some bit of counseling. We talk about anxiety. Uh, Anxiety. Anxiety is a mental health disorder which is characterized by feelings of worry, fear that are strong enough to interfere with somebody's daily activities or way of life. This is something that almost most of us have gone through. Sometimes you feel you're not feeling yourself. You you can't perform the way you've been performing. You find a hard time. You're full of worries. You're full of fear. So sometimes when you realize you're in such a situation, I believe you need to talk to a counselor. Annette, I think I'll stop there for the types of counseling. There are some others, but for now, I think in the interest of time, yeah, that is what I can be in position to tell the viewers. Uh, but in the case, before I leave it, in the case you realize you're in such a situation, just know you need to identify or uh, contact a counselor. Thank you so much, Annette.
Thank you, Rebecca. I love the idea that there is also career guidance or career counseling, because when I was in school, I didn't really get a chance to probably speak to someone to understand what I can do better. Maybe I would be in the army serving as a as a captain, or maybe I wouldn't be in the profession that I took. But anyway, uh, we want to also understand, Rebecca, what is the process, or what does counseling entail? Is it a one-day thing? Is it an evening tea like discussion? What does it really entail? If probably I'm thinking about going to speak to a counselor or getting in touch with a counselor, what should I expect?
Thank you, Annette. Uh, as I've already told you, that maybe yeah, counseling is a process. Counseling is a process. It is not a one-day thing. It is a process that involves doing lots of work, but around one thing. But just because we want to come up with the best course of the day. So what do we need to do here? Or what does what does the counseling process require? Uh, because these are professionals, they are trained counselors. Um, those of you, all the caretakers, all the practitioners, those that are trained, uh, you first of all have to be or to prepare for these sessions. See how many sessions will it require for this. You can discuss together to see how many sessions will it require for maybe this person to come up or to be at a level where you can terminate this process. Then also, uh, uh, we also have to see that we prepare the tools, because we must be equipped with the tools that are required to be used in the during this process. uh, and also together with the counselor. I mean, with the counselor, with the client. Sometimes, but our at Nyonga Women's Shelter, we call them survivors because we normally work with survivors. So together, you draw up goals. Goals goals have to be identified. The purpose of why you're doing this. Why do you need to go for these sessions? Because the goals can be changed from time to time. In case you realize maybe this is what the survivor needs, but you as a professional, you have to be in position to identify using when you take that direction. Will you be in position to get to where this survivor wants to be or not? Also, um, you must be you must be apart from preparing the tools and identifying the goals, you also have to identify which kind of techniques will you be using. huh? Because it is different, because different clients come with different problems, and it is not like a drawn line that because it is counseling, I use the same tools, techniques, and whatever, or with whichever survivor or client contacts me. No, different problems have different tools to be used, have different techniques, and yeah, so different survivors come with different problems, so you have to prepare differently depending on the survivor's problem. So I think that is what are the what is entailed in the process, preparing ourselves with the tools, techniques, identifying the goals, um, and explaining the whole process to the survivor, because you have to prepare them. I think that is what I can say about the counseling process. Net.
So Rebecca, you spoke about like when you are trying to explain the types, we saw that they might be individual counseling or couple or group counseling. Are there other like different methods of counseling, of how counseling is done?
Yeah, I tell you. Thank you, Annette, for such a wonderful question. I think this is also something that is wise talking about. Yeah, counseling has several methods. Yeah, it is done using different methods or dimensions for this purpose. First of all, uh, actually, we are doing different. We are doing counseling uh, using different methods depending on the kind of organization or the kind of depending on the kind of caregiver or counselor or profession. We use different methods, but to be to be easy about this, there is also we have this SOS SOS hotline counseling. SOS is some code that is generally worldwide accepted. I think this is not something new to all of us, but we normally use it. Some people have that hotline, uh, which is used for counseling. But it is not only used for counseling, but you can also give it to share information or to offer information to different survivors or clients in different situations. And this takes 8 hours to 12 hours of the day, or even 24 hours a day. So that is that hotline of SOS. SOS. We also um, yeah, to add on the same, I would say that trained counselors give information and the counseling on the phone. Yeah, those phones you can schedule a session and you can talk to someone. Take an example: someone has contacted you, but they are in a difficult situation and they are distance. So as a trained counselor, you can use a phone and yeah, you talk to somebody to revive their lives. We also have in video, those in video counseling sessions I've already talked about, those that last from 30 to 50 minutes. Um, Still, this is done by trained counselors. But to take note of this, I told you already that different people do counseling differently. But now, if they are, I'm talking about professional counseling. Leave alone this kind of counseling that the aunties do. Maybe when you've lost somebody, they are always on you. Do this. No, you shouldn't do this. Do this. They are. You will keep on receiving different people bringing in different kind of suggestions. Huh? So now, uh, professions or trained counselors have specific time that they engage as a client or a survivor, huh? Because this is a counseling session is supposed to work on the emotion and cognitive or motivation dimensions of an individual. I'm happy to inform that for us at Nyonga Women's Shelter, we do phone legal aid counseling. Phone legal aid counseling uh, that we use to to counsel our survivors and also give information on women's rights. We are lawyers because we also have our legal aid assistant where she uses this kind of information to give general legal aid on the telephone. And for other complex issues, you use this phone to set sessions. If a case carries it is complex in nature. That means you have to use the phone, and maybe this person is distant. You have to use the phone to set a session so that you can meet this person. So we are happy at Nyonga Women's Shelter that we've got this person and we are doing this effectively. It is something that really works honestly. Also, I would like to talk about legal lawyers or attorneys' aid. Um, Individual legal aid advice, these lawyers or attorneys normally give individual legal advice. That's if you happen to find one. Sometimes they write documents. Sometimes they also carry out court representation. This is for women, uh, normally for women and girls, mostly those with low incomes and those that are vulnerable and can't find some person to represent them in court. But we are happy at Nyonga Women's Shelter. For us, we've got this read at hand. We've got a legal aid personnel who is doing all this, advising our survivors, representing them in court, and doing all the necessary court proceedings or legal aid proceedings. So this is also, I bear witness on this. It works. It is real and it works. Um, yeah, we also there is another method where still this one I have an example. It is to do with the self-help groups of women that survive violence. Where they come and share their experiences, and with the help of a practitioner or a caregiver. This is also a method of of counseling where people come. They've got, maybe they fall in the same category that they are survivors of gender-based violence. They've experienced it, so they come in share their experiences as they keep on talking about their issues, whatever they've gone through. Others keep on learning. You keep on, yeah, they keep on learning from one another. So we've also used this at Inyonga Women's Shelter, and it has worked because others find themselves, yeah, they realize that I'm not alone and I can make it. This is not the end of me. If so and so went through such and such a horrible situation, then why not me? I think I can also be in position to make it. Then we also do advise for safe spaces. Safe spaces to mean like shelters. This one I also be specific, like Nyonga Women's Shelter. Women in dangerous situations need spaces. The actually safe environments or safe environments, safe shelters. So this is also one way. It is another way of how we do it. Thank you, Annette. That is what I can mention about the methods. But there are some other more, but here I've been specific because, yeah, this is practical and this is what we've been doing at Inyonga Women's Shelter. But maybe I would also like to talk about the methods. We sometimes also give out or print written materials or leaflets with basic human rights services uh, that exist. Okay, how women or survivors or clients, how they can access information, where they can access services. So it is also one way of giving out, of counseling, maybe because if someone knows how to read and write, you can give this information in case you don't have time maybe to talk to them, or even if you found the time to talk to them, but you can also be in position to give an additional information to them so that they can take back home with them so that they can read. Thank you so much, Annette.
Wow, it's such a lot of information, but also important for us to learn and understand these issues. You talked about anxiety and stress and depression. We also might need to understand what are the causes of issues, or what are the issues that bring about stress, depression, uh, and all the trauma that you were speaking about that can probably it might also be important for us to understand, because as you know, counseling is not something that people really uh, think about. It's not something that they consider. So maybe we need to also uh, speak about what can cause stress, what can bring about depression, so that we are able to understand if we are at that point, and then decide to take action or seek for counseling.
Thank you, Annette. Yeah, exactly as you mentioned. I would begin by saying that professional counselors offer help in addressing many situations that cause emotional stress. There are so many. There are so many underlying causes or situations that cause emotional stress. Uh, to begin with, um, I've already talked about anxiety as that disorder that makes you feel sad, feel unable to react to, that make you unable to carry out your daily activities. I've already talked about depression and other mental and emotional problems or disorders. All this, because I wouldn't like to take much time because I've already explained this, but these are very strong causes. These are very strong, I don't know how to call it, but they are so common, and they cause emotional stress to an extent that one would require or to seek professionals intervention. We also have family and relationship issues. This one I've also talked about family. Some of us, we've got families. We all belong to families. And families, I shouldn't say that when in our families all is well. Sometimes there are disputes. Sometimes there are disagreements, and the same to do with in relationships. Uh, so those hardships, disputes, frustrations in relationships and families cause emotional stress, and they need they need they need intervention of a profession counselor. Also, substance abuse, substance abuse and other addictions. Substance abuse to mean alcohol, drugs, other addictions. Yeah, you know the different kinds of addictions. Uh, in that, because if you we talk of addiction, addiction is something that is really strong. It is something strong to overcome. It is something that is hard to overcome in case you become an addict to something. So and it becomes worse if it is if you're abusing alcohol, if you're a substance abuser, it even becomes worse. So this also causes emotional stress. Sexual abuse and domestic violence. Let me first of all talk about sexual abuse. Um, for those of you who've been sexually abused, sexual abuse, sometimes when we talk about sexual abuse, some people restrict it to defilement and maybe rape. There are so many ways in which we experience sexual abuse. In which we experience sexual abuse. So sexual abuse is not restricted to rape or defilement. It also carries several issues to do with sex, misuse of sex, like lesbianism, is it called anal sex? Anal sex. In case somebody abused you when you didn't know, you are not aware, or in case somebody has seduced you or convinced you to do such an act. um, I think this would work on your emotion negatively. So yeah, it stresses you. Then other addictions. I mean domestic violence. So sorry for taking you to addictions, but I meant to talk about domestic violence. Uh, how I wish every woman, or a man, every man was listening to into us. But for those that have been domestically abused, or those that are facing domestic violence, honestly, the situation is even terrible. It is horrifying. Uh, that such people, it is hard for them to 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 cope with the situation that they are staying in. So it causes that constant emotional stress for such people uh, that are going through such kind of violence. We also have career change or job stress. Some of some of us who are working, sometimes you're overwhelmed with work. uh, Sometimes you have stress at work. Maybe somehow you've mismanaged something. I'll give an example. Maybe they gave you I'll give an example of a finance officer, maybe who has mismanaged funds. This alone would cause you job stress. Job stress. You get some kind of strain. Then also career change. Career change is also something that we talk about as something that causes emotional change, because it is not so easy for someone to switch from this career to another. So in case someone is in case someone faces this situation, or is about to go this through this situation, they need to go through counseling, because it is so much stressing. For those who have gone through this, I think you bear witnesses. Um, then there are also social and emotional difficulties related to disabilities and illnesses. For example, someone physically, you've been physically you've been physically stable, and maybe you get an accident. I think this also causes emotional stress. Then also death of loved ones. This also is something that is so power that works on our lives so hard that it causes us emotional stress. So thank you so much, Annette. That is what I would say. I would mention as the underlying causes of emotional stress. Thank you, Annette. Over to you.
Thank you so much, Rebecca, for sharing. Our viewers, thank you so much for watching. I want to say, and I think that Rebecca, you will agree with me, that this topic is a broad topic. And but for the interest of time, we are going to end here and prepare another show where we'll be discussing more issues about this topic, because we need to understand at what counseling, and also how it helps, and also where someone can go for to seek for services, particularly like in Uganda, which organizations and individuals offer these services, so that, because a lot of people are dying, a lot of people are committing suicide, a lot of issues are happening around us, and we need to give information for our viewers and our communities to understand how to seek for help. So we are not going to go further. I want to thank you, Rebecca, today and sharing, and I hope that you will find time again to come and share with our viewers the rest of the information that we need to know regarding this topic. Please keep sharing. This platform is for Women Rights Initiative, and we have a YouTube channel. It's on our Facebook page. Please and please share and keep sharing, keep learning. We appreciate your time. We appreciate your efforts. We appreciate your feedback, and please let us know what more you need to learn and other topics, so that we can bring experts and people to speak about. Thank you so much. Until next time, God bless you.